Apple starts selling the iPhone 5 with a carry-on lock. Our full Nexus 10 review is now live. We'll show you just how to get Adobe Flash on newer Android devices. I'm Jaime Rivera, wondering if Adobe Flash is still as hot as it used to be. And this is Pocketnow Daily. That's right, the sign that Apple is finally meeting demands when it comes to the iPhone 5 is finally here. Once you start seeing that they sell any iPhone with a carrier-on lock, it means that their problems are almost over. You can now pick up an iPhone 5 without a contract for $650 for the 16GB model, and then add an extra $100 for the 32 or 64GB models respectively. Now this means that you can finally use your iPhone on T-Mobile, obviously, and second, that the prices will now begin to drop on places like eBay. Now, the company that hasn't even started meeting demands is Samsung with their Ativ-s. It was the first Windows Phone 8 device to be announced, and it still hasn't even been launched. It was recently announced in Taiwan for a non-specific date, and it's also being mentioned now in Canada for a mid-December launch, but it just makes you wonder if Sammy's actually waiting for Windows Phone 8 to actually crash or mean something before they dive in. And if you were interested in a Microsoft Surface Pro, they have just shared the pricing with the public. The 64GB model will retail for $900, and then the 128GB model will retail for $1,000, no touch or type covers included. And as with everything Microsoft, there are no specific dates included, only early 2013. Now, the interesting part here is the fact that even though these things are pricey, you are getting a full computer. But then when you compare it to the full-fledged 11-inch MacBook Air that retails at that same price range, you wonder if it's really worth it. And our full Nexus 10 review is now live, and Joe Levi gave it a lot of praise as being one of the best Android tablets in the market. Now this review is really special because Joe recently reviewed the previous half-sibling Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1, and he didn't like the Note 10.1 even with the S Pen. So make sure you watch his full review and learn why the Nexus 10 is so special, because so far it actually is. And finally, for the hot news of the day, if you thought that Adobe Flash was dead for newer Android devices, well, Google tried to kill it with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean and beyond, but Joe Levi shows us a full video on how to get it to work, the full walk around and all the steps that you have to follow, which is actually quite simple, so make sure you hit the links. And that leads me to the question of the day. Just how important is Adobe Flash for you on a mobile device? In my particular case, I rarely use it, but I know of a lot of people that do use it, so make sure you leave us a comment down below. And if you want an earlier scoop of everything that's happening in the smartphone and tablet world, make sure you follow us on Pocketnow.com. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks for watching.